Brent crude oil surged above $95 for the first time in 6 weeks. Trump said the U.S. will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant for every time Iran shoots at a ship in the Strait of Hormuz from this point forward. Trump also said he'll be imposing a 100% tariff on generic drugs being brought into the U.S. beginning August 2028. This tariff will increase to 200% beginning in August 2029. Today we cover what to know and where the action is right now.
So here's where we are right now. Trump posted on Truth Social that from this point forward, every single time Iran fires on a ship in the Strait of Hormuz, missile, rocket, drone, or whatever, the U.S. will bomb and destroy one bridge or power plant within Iran. He specifically called out targets next to or in Tehran, their capital city. And Iran responded almost immediately, saying if the U.S. targets a bridge or power plant inside Iran, they will strike infrastructure and energy facilities across the region where the U.S. has interest. But the Houthis declared a maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia, threatening to cut off Saudi oil exports through the Red Sea entirely. And the Joint Maritime Information Center, which is the U.S. Navy-led maritime security group, warned mariners this week that the Houthis in Yemen have completed preparations to attack shipping near Bab al-Mandeb, which is the southern access point to the Red Sea. Missiles and drones are already positioned there.
Saudi exports have been acting as like a relief valve for global oil markets while Iran has been attacking tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. If that relief valve gets cut off too, we're looking at a very different supply picture. The EU's naval mission is now telling any merchant vessel linked to Israeli, US, or Saudi interests to avoid the Red Sea and Gulf of Aden altogether. Brent crude is already responding, surging above $95 for the first time in 6 weeks, and the military picture keeps widening. The U.S. has expanded its airstrikes into northwestern Iran, and Iran, in turn, has continued firing on U.S. bases in Kuwait, Bahrain, and Jordan. The U.S. says it will intensify the bombing campaign until Iran agrees to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and stop attacking energy tankers.
And something that's striking right now is that the 30-year Treasury yield has now traded above 5% for 27 days so far this year, which is the longest stretch above 5% since 2007. The probability of a rate hike at next week's July 29th Fed meeting is sitting at 33%. And just a few months ago, markets were pricing in 3 or more rate cuts for 2026. That is a complete and total reversal of where we were. Either way, this is something that affects a lot of parts of the market, stock valuations, mortgage rates, corporate borrowing costs, so definitely keep this one close on the radar. And Trump announced that generic drugs imported into the U.S. will face a 100% tariff starting in August of 2028, and then that jumps to 200% a year later in August of 2029.
According to the FDA, roughly 90% of all prescriptions dispensed in the United States are filled with generic drugs, so this is definitely a pretty significant policy move when you think about it. The timeline is long enough, though, that it's not an immediate catalyst, but it definitely is something to keep on the radar. Google and Tesla reported earnings in the after hours. They're both down. Google beat revenue and profit expectations. Their CapEx was a little bit higher than consensus estimates. Tesla beat on their revenue expectations, but they missed on their profit expectations.
And whenever we go look at the overall market right now, SPY is 1.71% off of the all-time high. And as I actually look at the SPY right now, it's still just chopping around. If we zoom in onto a 15-minute chart, we can see that resistance around $750 is still holding up. That was essentially the high of day from today. And this overhead resistance zone has tested multiple times over the past few days. Keep in mind, this is an overhead range of resistance. It's not just an exact number right at $750. You have to give or take a couple of dollars here. But the SPY continues to reject there. And in after hours tonight, we did see a slight push higher with some of the earnings that reported, but as we know, Tesla and Google are kind of falling down. If the SPY continues to fall down tomorrow, I'm going to be watching this intraday double bottom that occurred right around 746.75 to 747. That will be my first cue to the downside, but I would also really like to see this double bottom where we saw the low from pre-market today post and the low from pre-market on Tuesday. If that ends up breaking right around 744.30, be ready for a larger flush down to around the 741 to 740 support zone. As I look at the SPY, it did break a short-term downtrend yesterday, and today still held above that trend in a pretty solid way. It's going to be interesting to see if the SPY can continue to hold this lower support or not.
And we're in such a unique market right now where earlier this week on Monday, over 70% of the S&P 500 stocks traded above their 200-day moving average for the first time in almost 6 months. Historically speaking, this has led to a lot of short-term volatility as the market was only finished green 35% of the time 5 days later. As time goes by, the returns do get better. Looking at the schedule for tomorrow, we are basically all clear.
Yeah, we are definitely clear on the economic side of things, but we do still have some earnings set for the end of the week. Intel will be reporting in after hours tomorrow. Be ready for that. It's one of the bigger chip stocks out there, so its report is going to be critical for the AI game, just like how Tesla and Google were very critical tonight. And of course, their price action will be important to watch into tomorrow. But speaking about tomorrow, Mike, I think it's time to jump into some setups and predictions. Looking at my first one, I'm still watching gold stocks to the upside. GLD had another great run this morning. It closed up 1.15%. And if we look at the daily chart, we're starting to extend off of the lower support close to 364 to 365 in a great way. There's been a nice double bottom around there lately, and we're actually starting to test a technical downtrend. I'm really looking for this downtrend to start to break over the next few trading days to even over the next few weeks if it continues to chop around in this zone. I'll eventually be looking for a push higher up to around $400 to $405 where we have the next major zone of resistance. But this is just a trade to watch for, of course, because with the overall catalyst with Iran continuing to worsen, we're starting to see some people jump back into safe haven assets, and even miners like GDX are still running, and JNUG had a huge run this morning, but it did end up closing down only 7% instead of like 12% plus like it was early in the day.
7% still a nice move, and you already know energy is still on the radar as well. XLE, UGA, CRAK, and other tickers are close on watch. We've been hitting on these for some time now, so it's great to see them moving like this. XLE follows the energy sector. It's more of like a broader approach, while ticker symbol CRAK specifically follows oil refining companies, which are especially benefiting in this current market environment, as we can tell just by the way it has been moving. Ticker symbol UGA follows gas prices, so keep them all on the radar. As this Iran conflict continues, I'm expecting energy companies to continue to benefit. We shall see.
These stocks have been parabolic in the short term. I'll keep watching them very closely, of course, as well, Mike. With my next play, I'm looking at ticker symbol DRAM, back to the upside again. After tonight's earnings, we can see DRAM is actually starting to push to the upside in after hours. And something I'm watching for is the $60 resistance coming up. If we see a good move past $60 into the open tomorrow, I'm definitely going to be looking for DRAM to continue higher just for the next couple of trading days. If we zoom out on like an hourly chart, you can see that there's a clear technical downtrend in play with DRAM. Now, I called this one out yesterday, and while it didn't continue up today, I still have it on the radar for the next few days for that $60 breakout. If we can see a clear move past there, I could see a push up to around the next recent resistance around $66. There's a clear double top there in the short term, and the stock also bounced very close to 66 and used it as support on the way down too.
Yeah, memory stocks are some of the most volatile, crazy stocks in the market right now. It's definitely an area of the market worth watching. Another stock that's close on the radar is VG, Venture Global. It's another American energy company that produces and exports liquefied natural gas, which is a little bit different than the oil-based companies. This company handles everything from production and pipeline transport to shipping and regasification. Basically, global demand for liquefied natural gas is rising due to energy security needs geopolitical tensions and just the overall shift to cleaner fuels, this stock has been moving in a pretty strong way this year. And I also like the recent strength it's showing as well. I've also seen it gaining some, I guess you could say, attention and hype to it as well from a media standpoint. They raised their 2026 EBITDA guidance considerably as well. It's on my bullish radar to go along with this broader energy uptrend.
Yeah, I'll be watching it very close. It was up 5.4% today, and actually from its recent low to where it got to at today's peak, this stock has popped 45%. That's a lot for just a few weeks worth of price action. But besides that, Mike, it's time to jump into today's momentum plays as well. And with the first one, I'm looking at ticker symbol OXY, which is Occidental Petroleum, to the upside. If it can break out above $57.80, keep watching for an uptrend.
With the next one, we have Reddit, ticker symbol RDDT, to the downside.
Yeah, Reddit had a pretty nasty drop, down over 8% at close. If it breaks down under 166, watch it to the downside.
And then with the last one, we have Quantum Computing Inc., ticker symbol QUBT, also to the downside.
Yeah, Quantum started pulling back again today. If QUBT breaks down under $7.80, keep watching for a further pullback.
All right, so these three stocks are on the radar for potential continuations tomorrow if and only if they break through the levels listed. These stocks are volatile, so always protect yourself. Use stop losses. Only enter trades you know why you're entering and you feel good about, and focus on making smart, disciplined trading decisions above all else. We have a lot of great free information in the StockedUp Discord group, so definitely check that out as well with the link in the description down below. But besides that, let's jump right into today's $2.2 million big money trade. Pretty interesting one today with ticker symbol BSX. This company is Boston Scientific. This is a global biomedical engineering firm and multinational manufacturer of medical devices. Its stock is down 60% from its 2025 all-time high. The company reported weakness in some of its key growth products, which is what led to it cutting its 2026 full-year forecast. Again, the stock is down a lot, and the trader here is positioning themselves to profit from this dip and is betting on a strong recovery by early 2027. These calls are already in the money, so the break-even is lower compared to out-of-the-money options, which is good. The break-even on this call specifically is roughly $46.60. The company is set to report earnings on July 29th, and of course, that will probably bring in some extra volatility. So, if you can't handle that type of volatility, then consider waiting or not trading this.
This stock is insane. From its high, it's fallen around 60% plus, and as I look at it, it is approaching a very large zone where it's bounced a lot in the past. Now, it recently fell under $45 to $46, which is used as a huge resistance in the past, and now underneath that, there's another big support coming up around $35. The thing is with this stock is that it's falling into a range where that's a pretty big range between $35 to $45. If you get this play, expect some volatility. It's currently downtrending right now. The earnings coming up, like Mike said, could cause this stock to shift in a very significant way. If we look at some of the past times that it's reported earnings on a weekly chart, some of them are insane. Like Monday, February 2nd, at least that week, we saw the stock take a major dump. And of course, there's other multiple scenarios with that where it's went to the upside as well. So keep it on the radar. It's nearing a large support. I will say just be ready for that volatility, and you might need to give it the time that this one needs. Like I said, it's actively downtrending right now, and they might be looking for a bounce closer to that $35 to $40 area.
Keep it close on the radar. It's not too often where you see companies like this down this much. So either way, keep it close on watch. And if you are new to the channel, welcome, and consider obliterating that subscribe button. For every single trading day, we post brand new videos just like this one, showcasing crazy multi-million-dollar big money trades, stocks to keep on the radar, SPY levels and analysis, upcoming news, important events, key information, past stats, and so much more. It takes a long time to make these videos each day, and if you subscribe, you'll get them recommended to you more often. So definitely consider doing that. And let's also give a giant shout out to today's member of the day, BHow1996 in the Stocked Up Discord, with some great profits of a little bit over $1,500 over the past week, and I love it. He traded some credit spreads, so huge shout out to you, BHow. Keep up the great work going forward, and thanks for being a great member of the community. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's crush it in the market tomorrow.